All right, well, I'm sure that everybody is not practicing being dumb on purpose unless you had your head stuck in the proverbial sand somewhere, or who knows what. Maybe you've been watching the XFL or getting entertained by the NBA or whatever it is, wasting hours of your life daily. There's some people out there that are highly upset, extremely upset, because Silicon Valley Bank, SVB, the second largest banking institution in the United States of America. And since 2008, this is the second bank that has collapsed, totally insolvent. And people are highly upset. Now, listen, when you get on mainstream news media, mainstream news media, they'll speak to you about certain things, but they're not going to tell you the intricacies and workings and try to give some guidelines. Now, listen, I am not a financial advisor. I can only tell you what Pastor Dowell would do and what I'm going to do and how I do things. But it's bad out here. It's really bad out here. You've had the second largest bank and held a lot of cash deposits, and I do mean a lot. And when I say collapse, gone, bamboozled, let's say you had $2 million in the bank. Let's just say you had that. Now, everybody don't have $2 million in the bank. I certainly don't have $2 million in the bank. But let's just say you had $2 million in the bank, and you're feeling secure because you believe that that money, quote unquote, I say that tongue-in-cheek, assets, is secure. Well, according to the law of the land, the FDIC can only insure up to $250,000 worth of deposits. Do you know what that means? That means somebody has lost $1,750,000, and guess what? It's gone. It ain't coming back. Not only that, you know how much money that was actually secured and backed up by the SVB bank and crypto? Gone. Gone. Bamboozled. Gone. I seen that nutcase called Jim Cramer. I don't even still know. I know how he keeps his job all these years. It's a bunch of theatrics, a bunch of lying. This booker last month gets on his little show, and as long as them people over there Squawk Box, they got their name right though. And they're telling everybody how strong SVB is, and they're telling everybody to go out and buy the stocks and get into it and invest in it because it's strong, it's reliable. Now, mind you, these are so-called people with insider trader secrets. I'm going to give you something. The CEO of SVC and some of the presidents and vice presidents of SVC, you know what they did? They sold off over $2 million in stocks apiece, somewhere along in there, prior to this collapse. But did you, the depositor, the one who used the bank, did you know? Man, there was one company, I forget the name of the company right now, escapes my mind. It had over $487 million in deposits in that bank. Gone. Up in New York and other places, they got up, regular old human beings just like you and I. They got up in the morning. They, once the banks opened, they figured that they were going to go down and get a few dollars or maybe a couple of $100s out of the bank to be able to, do the festivities of the day, to be able to move and shake and do whatever. And they got there and the doors were shut. And when they banged on the doors and said, "Let me in," the bank called the cops on them. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of people that have lost an extraordinary amount of wealth, and it ain't coming back. Now, mind you, all this is under Biden watch, where it tells you that the economy is strong, the republic is strong, we're doing good. If you believe all that bullshit they be selling you, there's a lot of hurting people this morning who have actually put their wealth in that. I mean, you could have put your wealth in other things: bonds, treasury bonds, mutual funds, stocks, gold, silver, ETFs. You could have put your money in a lot of other stuff. And don't get me wrong. Listen, Sure, it's more convenient to have money in one location so that way you know where to go and what to do. But man, let me tell you something. If the FDIC is only going to insure up to $250,000 in deposit, and that is not a guarantee because these people are scrambling, looking to do whatever they can to try to find money and in order to at least give some of the money that their depositors had back to them. Listen, if you're like me, you don't even want to lose one nickel's worth of rat's ass of a penny. Yet and still, have we not all been conditioned to use the banking institutions? I mean, I've always said, if you look at my channel for any length of time, that the best banking institution that there is your own personal bank at home, guarded by Smith & Wesson, or guarded by your friend Alfa Romeo 15. You know what I mean? Yeah. Hey, that's the best banking is. A good, secure place. But there's a weeping howl going right now, and a lot of people are hurting. Listen, it stands to reason, at least in my own personal opinion, okay? I have to speak like that because people will accuse me of practicing all kinds of stuff, even though I'm just being practical and just trying to give out regular old knowledge to people. But it stands to reason that if you had over $250,000 in the bank, it seems to me that you would use more than one bank. You know what I mean? You would take $250,000 and put it in this bank, if you choose to do that. Then you'll take another $250,000, put it in another bank. At least each one of them is allegedly insured. Now, the best way, matter of fact, let me give y'all an education while we're here. And don't let me forget to talk to you about what the Tennessee House did just a day or two ago. Don't let you forget. My great state of Tennessee passed a bill 98-0 as gold and silver is legal currency in Tennessee. And they're getting ready to start opening up deposits. They're getting ready to start selling gold and silver. They're getting ready to start taking gold and silver as a medium of exchange. Can you believe that? In Tennessee, 98-0. I think that a lot of states are going to follow because they see what's happening with the federal government. They see what's going on in this world. And I realize that most of you are not interested in stuff like this. Again, most of you are not interested in tomorrow, but you're interested in today. But guess what? When tomorrow get here, it feels just like today. And there's going to be a weeping howl if you don't prepare. So listen, usually, I'm sure that most of y'all know what this is right here. See that thing right there? Let me put it up in front of the camera. See that thing right there? You know what that is? That's a 1 ounce gold buffalo. Bam. See that? 1 ounce. Pastor Dowell, what are you doing with this? Well, I'm just starting to be out of country right now. And it's always been my standard operating procedure to, whenever I travel and go out of country, I usually take me probably about 2 or 3 of these, depending on how many is in my part. I usually take 2 or 3 of these with me because when money collapses and when money fails, this is not going to get me back home because people are not going to be accepting this fiat currency right here. And that's something, how they got something like here, right here, like it looks like a little gold jar, but ain't nothing worth in it, ain't nothing in it. But usually if I have 2 or 3 of these coins on me, no matter where I'm at in the world, I can always get back home. Always get back home because all central banks, as well as you can go somewhere in that society and you can exchange this to get whatever they accept then for a plane ticket, their currency, the plane ticket to get back home because the dollar's failing. You think about that for a second. Well, Pastor Dowell, I didn't even know you do stuff like that. There's a lot of things I talk about. I talk about on here. I talk about on my Patreon channel. I talk about a lot of stuff I try to tell people. But, I mostly am just one that plays well on an instrument. In other words, I sound good, but most of you don't think it's necessary for you to even pay attention to what I'm saying. And so here I is again. Yep, here I is again. And trying to do what I can to put a defibrillator on our mind because this stuff is worthless. I remember one time that I was having a meeting, then we'll get back on subject here. I remember one time I was having a meeting And I said, pick one of these. Which one of these would you rather have? And some of you were at that meeting. Do you know that the people said that they would rather have this right here, over this? At the time, this was $1,200 an ounce. Right now, this is $1,800 an ounce. And this says it has a denomination of $100, but you know, with inflation, you probably are not getting no more than maybe $40 of goods and services. But they took this over this. And that right there lets me know exactly how dumb, dormant, docile, demonized, demoralized, stupefied, ignorant, and dumb on purpose that American people are. I don't care what demographic you are. You are stupid as hell if you don't know the value of gold and silver. Well, anyway, all it did was tell me is that I need to make sure when I get home that I make a large purchase of metals, precious metals. Because the only thing that's going to be able to hedge against not only inflation, but it's the only thing going to be able to hedge against this fiat currency and this dollar and these banks. Listen, SVB, Silicon Valley Bank, they're not the only bank that's going to end up failing. And when you seeing this, you're getting ready to watch a chain reaction. And so now it's time, and I'm going to say it again, I'm going to keep it simple. I had somebody ask me the other day, they said, Pastor Dowell, so, you know, if someone had that kind of money in the bank, what do you do? And then, of course, people started emailing me and asking me what to do. And of course, you know, I jokingly would say, go refer to your financial advisor. They seem to have all the answers, don't they? The stock market is crap right now. There ain't nothing doing good because we're just a nation in debt. And it doesn't look like that things are going to return to the glory of yesterday years, at least in my own estimate. You see, I'm not a pessimist. I'm an optimist. And what I mean is that if you listen to a wise man, you'll be wise. And believe me, people have been mocking me, riding me, deriding me, chiding me, jeering me for I can't tell you how long, because I've been telling people gold and silver. If you really want to know, go back and look, just type in Pastor Dowell, gold and silver, and you'll see how long I've been talking about this. Now, I actually took a siesta for a while because, you know what I mean? I mean, the system is manipulating constitutional money. They're literally manipulating it. They're not going to be able to do that in Tennessee because Tennessee passed 98-0 that the only constitutional money that there is gold and silver. And they're implementing in Tennessee. You know, Tennessee is just something. They believe in constitutional carry, constitutional money. They believe in freedom and liberty. You mind your business, I mind mine. You don't tread on me, I don't tread on you. You don't trespass on me, you don't have to worry about me trespassing on you. You don't offend me, I won't offend you. However, if you decide to cross that line, then we have Glock, Smith & Wesson, and a few other things to help make sure that we hold that line. You know what I mean? We got Alfa Romeo to make sure that we hold that line, if you know what I mean. There's a whole bunch of things that's going on. We have Mike Ford to make sure that we hold that line. And I'm telling you, man, we have a lot of things to make sure that we hold that line. And that's why I tell people all the time, you should have been working a long, long time ago to get out of this city. And now this is just a second shot over the bow. I mean, think about this. J.P. Morgan and Chase and all of them. Listen, when this happens, this is a ripple effect. These people have lost probably in excess of over $500 billion, if not trillion, over this one bank failure right here. And I hate to even look and see what the stock market is doing right now. I really would. It probably will cause me to fall out in this seat. I probably need to get some more coffee, but listen to me. You cannot ever go wrong because money is going to fail. You cannot ever go wrong with having tangible assets. And I just proved to you, proof positive again. Whenever I travel, wherever I go in this world, depending on where I go, I look at what's going on with the money system. I look on what the exchange rate is. I look and see what they're giving, and then I look and see actually how much will it cost to get back home in case something goes awry. And then I bring that much gold with me. It's usually 2-3 ounces. You think about it. 3 ounces of gold right now, where does that put you at? 42, 4, 6. That puts you at $5,400, I think. 54, 54. Yep, $5,400. Can you imagine 3 ounces of gold is $5,400 an ounce? I remember when gold was $330 an ounce. Wish I had some money back then, but I didn't. You know, I did that biblical thing by going to zero and starting from nothing, and then to watch to see if this, creator universe is the God that he said that he was. And I just happened to find out that he is. He ain't playing games. So I thank the Father through Jesus that I've been obedient to him. But listen, this is some serious business, and this should cause us to think, because I tell you, when I get back home, I'm not like other people. You believe you me, I'm going to start moving things around. You better believe it. Because I would hate. Could you imagine you had $5 million in that bank, and now you may not even stand a chance of even getting $250,000 back? Man, that's bad. That's bad. I can't even begin to tell you how bad that is. I feel sorry for the people. That's all I can do, though. I feel sorry. So, Pastor Dowell, what should we be doing? What should we do, Pastor Dowell? I'm going to tell you again. I'm going to give you what I have done over the last 25, 30 years, and I'm going to tell you what you should be doing. First of all, it's going to cost a lot of pain. You need to work 2-3 jobs, if necessary. You need to stack Federal Reserve notes as fast as you can. And then when you can find some property, you need to buy it, because God ain't making no more property. That's also an asset. You need to get some property. Then you need to learn how to build with these hands. You need to learn how to build with these hands. You're going to get some calluses. It's going to be blood, sweat, and tears, but at least what you have is yours. You don't have to depend on no bank for no mortgage, no note, no nothing like that. You know what? Guess what? It's yours. No mortgage, no rent. You actually following the tenets of the Bible. You're owing no man nothing but the love. The borrower's a servant to the lender. This is just, I call it common sense, but most people don't think the Bible has any sense whatsoever at all. But hey, that's neither here nor saying your prerogative. It's bad. It's extremely bad out there. There's a weeping howl, and there's a lot of people crying, and that's all that they can do. Because the government has the guns, and a lot of them, and they have a lot of people on their payroll. And you better believe that those people, when it comes time for them to defend the government, and they're going to get paid for it, you the enemy. To hell with American values and patriot, and being a patriot and all this other stuff. No, when it comes to my family, your family eating, you're going to see what a lot of people choose. Well, I needed to put this out here. You need to check and see if your state is going to be moving to a gold standard, because I know Tennessee is, and that is a fact, and I thank the Father for that. So guess what? I want you all, to be encouraged, okay? I hope I didn't waste my breath here. King coming.